coffee. And hot.
Do you feel lucky? I don't feel lucky. It was not starting off on a good note here. Today is Friday, but it's Friday the 13th. Ooh, big bang. Oh my God. Anyway, good morning, folks. It's Friday the 13th, uh, Friday, May 13th, 2022. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Here on Long Island, we're back to dreary, rainy, gray. Kind of got nice spring weather out yesterday for a little bit of a tease. Now we're back to crap again. But it's supposed to get nice again when? Sunday? Anyway, I hope it's a beautiful day where you are. I hope if you're out in the Southwest, the fires have subsided. I don't know. Good morning. Friday, you made it through another week. Are you excited? Well, what are you excited about? Because the weekend is just more of the same, isn't it? It's just more of the same under a different name. Um, Elon Musk might not be buying Twitter. His acquisition of Twitter is on hold. Curious. Are you not curious about that? Exactly what's going on there? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But there's, of course, a lot of speculation. Uh, and who knows? You know who knows? Elon Musk knows, but he's not telling the truth. Or he's not, I shouldn't say not telling the truth, not saying anything about it. He's saying he's still committed to buying it. It's only on hold because, and I don't know what this has to do with it. The fact that Twitter did a research and found out that less than 5% of the accounts are spam or fake accounts or bots. I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe for a lot of reasons that I won't go into here. But um, I just know people who've been banned and come back and created other accounts. So I don't know. There's speculation that because Tesla stock has taken a nosedive since he announced he was buying Twitter, that has something to do with it. There's also the prospect of a $1 billion fine from the SEC. Uh, so who knows? But it doesn't look like he's going to be buying Twitter immediately. And, it wasn't going to be immediate anyway. It takes a long time for deals like that to go through. It's not like you just you pull $44 billion out of your pocket and hand it to the guy and walk away with Twitter in your pocket. That's not how it works. Uh, just trying to see what else. Rogan is trending this morning and got himself in. He loves this stuff. He loves this stuff. Don't be misled in thinking um, he's hurt by any of the criticism that he gets from this stuff. He says stuff that is meant to be inflammatory. Um, I do think he's a bit of a homophobe. I definitely do think that. And when you see homophobic people, you have to wonder. You have to wonder what's what's at the root of it all. Um, there's no reason to hate somebody for what they do in their bedroom unless you're a little bit afraid of it or intimidated by it or scared of it. And I think Joe Rogan, Chen Gongwa, Young Turk, Sank Chenk, whatever his name is, however you pronounce that stupid friggin' name. He went off yesterday saying because I get what did he was talking about. He wanted to know the trans people that Joe Rogan has had sex with. He wants them to come forward. He's trying to encourage them to come forward. Now, I don't know if he seriously heard anything or he's just guessing, just making a presumption that because Rogan is so anti LBGTQA, ABCDEF, but alphabet people, um, that he must have had something in his closet in the past, or if he's actually heard anything. Doesn't matter. I think outing, well, trying to out the guy is probably not the most productive way to voice your displeasure with him. Yeah, basically, ignore him, turn him off, leave him to haters gonna hate. I don't know, but I do think the people who Ben Shapiro's, the Steven Crowders, the Joe Rogans, just obsessed with being gay bashers. You know, um, there has to be something that's triggering that because gay people don't do anything to him unless unless they actually have done something. I'm sorry. He's too paranoid about what other people are doing in their bedroom. It doesn't affect you. Move on. He's calling it grooming. He's calling educators grooming because maybe he doesn't understand what it's like, and that's definitely possible. Doesn't understand what it's like to be bullied. But if you're a kid, again, kids. I don't want to suggest that all kids are innocent because when I was 5 or 6 years old, I had a world of knowledge about things I shouldn't have had. Innocence stolen. But for the most part, kids don't want to get involved in politics or, you know, political discourse in any way. But if you have two dads or you have two moms and you're in kindergarten or first grade and the other kids know that and they're relentlessly bullying you over that, I think it is a teacher's duty to kind of explain to the bullies why they shouldn't be bullying. And if you wanna call that grooming, go right ahead, but, that's an absurd idea. That's not grooming. It's not telling kids that they should grow up to be gay or lesbian or whatever, trans, any of the alphabet soup. It's not telling them that. It's not grooming. It's not grooming is such a really powerful word in what it really suggests is that you're like, Epstein was grooming Giselle, Ghislaine, just Jizzy, was grooming a young girl. You know, um, cults groom people. Teachers trying to stop bullying is not grooming. Anyway, so he got himself in some trouble, and people are gonna be striking back. And now, maybe he if he's concerned about being in the closet and being outed, uh, maybe there is something to that. I don't know, but we'll see how that plays out. You would think at this point he's had enough verbal confrontations with Shank, whatever his name is, Cenk Ungwar, that he would talk to him at least. Maybe have him on his show. I don't know, or just at least call him up and have a conversation off the air about what's really going. Twitter deal temporarily on hold, pending details supporting calculation that spam fake accounts do indeed represent less than 5% of users. Why that would stop the sale of Twitter to Elon Musk, it doesn't make any sense. What does he care what the percentage of spam fake accounts is? And the fact that it's less than 5% of users, I would think is a good thing. It doesn't make sense if that's the reason to stop the sale. Um, Twitter Inc. estimated in filing on Monday that false spam accounts represented fewer than 5% of his monetizable daily activity during the first quarter. Monetizable is the so that's a good thing though. Less than 5%. The social media company had 229 million users who were served advertising in the first quarter. So the concern is that the ads are not being presented to real people. So the people who are paying for advertising are being ripped off on some level. But less than 5% is pretty low. My estimate would have been probably 30%, 40%, somewhere in there. So it doesn't seem like that would be the reason to stop the sale. The disclosure came after Tesla Incorporated chief executive Elon Musk, who has inked a deal to buy Twitter for $44 billion, tweeted that one of his priorities would be to remove spam bots from the platform. So that's his priority. It should be easier now, knowing that it's less than 5% of the accounts, still not making sense as to why that would hold up the deal. Twitter said in its filing it faced several risks until the deal with Musk is closed, such as whether advertisers would continue to spend on Twitter and potential uncertainty regarding future plans and strategy. Okay. But again, it should be easier knowing the number is that little. Um, and then Musk tweeted out 52 minutes ago, still committed to acquisition. Okay. But Molly Zhang Fast tweeted out, retweeted something from May 2nd, which is 2 weeks ago now. Twitter estimates spam fake accounts compromised less than 5% of users' filings. So we knew that 2 weeks ago. The fact that they came out with their report yesterday should not have any effect on whether he plans to buy the deal. So this is where all the speculation comes from. Like, you know what? Maybe he's not being forthcoming about the real reasons that that the deal is on hold, because that shouldn't put the deal on hold. What could it be? It could be this fact that maybe he's worried that his main bitch, Tesla Motors, and its stockholders are not happy with his decision to buy it, and the stock price for that has been, tanking. But the stock price for everything across the board has been tanking, right? I don't know. We'll see what to make of it. In another story, one that is trending that I find amusing, it's from The Guardian. Calling a bald, calling a man bald is sexual harassment. Employment tribunal rules. Now, this is in the UK. We don't have employment tribunals here in America. Um, Tony Finn, who worked for the West Yorkshire manufacturing firm for 24 years, is in line for compensation. Calling a man bald is sexual harassment, and employment tribunal is ruled. I don't know why they have to put that twice. It's the headline, and then it's the first line of the story. Uh, Redundant, stupid nonsense. Hair loss is much more prevalent among men than women, so using it to describe someone is a form of discrimination, a judge has concluded. Commenting on a man's baldness in the workplace is equivalent to remarking on the size of a woman's breasts, the findings suggest. Uh, well, where's my money? Uh, just for the record, I've never felt sexually harassed by people saying I was bald. But if this guy's going to get some money for people saying he was bald, where's mine, man? Because more than 40 years, or about 40 years of it. Uh, Again, it hasn't bothered me, but I'm willing to say I feel sexually harassed if it means money. So every one of you better get out your checkbook. Every one of you people who actually Notice the shine on my head. If you figured out that I'm bald and you've said anything about it, write me a check today. You owe me money, you sexually harassing bastard, you. The ruling made by the panel of three men who, in making their judgment, bemoaned their own lack of hair. So three bald guys decided this case. Comes in a case between a veteran electrician and a manufacturing firm where he was employed. Three bald guys decided that the bald guy deserved money for being called bald. Man, we are a world of victims. Everybody's a victim of something. I can't believe he actually brought the case. But hey, he's gonna get money. Good for him, I guess. I don't know. Good for him. Yeah, well, good for him. Yes, definitely good for him. But it's not necessarily good for society. That I'm not saying you should bully somebody for baldness, but uh, to be able to sue somebody or get damages for being called bald. Uh, what's next? What's next, really? Uh, w- Saying anything about anybody's physical appearance, calling somebody tall, is that sexual harassment? Or short, or just saying he's medium height, or average height, is that sexual harassment? Oh, or saying, oh, he had, you know, saying a woman had red hair, is that sexual harassment? I mean, describing somebody's physical appearance, it has its place in the world, especially, if you're a witness to something. What the guy look like? I can't tell you, man. That'd be sexual harassment. I'm not giving any statement as to what the perpetrator might have looked like. Just let's just say he was a human, and saying it was he. Is that sexual harassment? I'm using a pronoun to describe him, a male pronoun. I mean, where does this shit end? I'm a bald guy, and I'm telling you, I'm as bald can be. I am the Balderamo. I am the Supremo Baldini. And it's not sexual harassment to be called bald. Um, it's a matter of fact. It's a matter of reality, and it doesn't hurt one bit. Um, Speaking of grooming, grooming your bald head. No, just won't anymore about the dollar amount this guy's going to get. It doesn't say. Um, doesn't say how much he's in line to get. It's a long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you. If you're in bet, uh, the company's right to submit that women as well as men may be bald. However, as all three members of the tribunal will vouchsafe, baldness is much more prevalent in men than women. We find it to be inherently related to sex. It should probably say gender. That's in quotes. So some idiot who does it related to sex. Yeah, I think a lot of women will say, "Yeah, have sex with a bald man. That's hot." I say that in jest, but possibly, who knows? Uh, I always, um, I always thought gay men were attracted to me because of my bald head because it reminded them of a penis. I'm not gonna get in trouble for saying that. Who cares? Make Yell at me, tell me to shut up, silence me, don't laugh at my jokes, whatever. It's mind-boggling. Now, speaking of grooming, I gotta show you this because the word grooming is used in sexual connotations all the time, like especially as a anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-alphabet soup people type thing. But there are other types of grooming, and I think it's appropriate to say that this is a why I keep pulling up the wrong thing? Man, I'm tired. I am very tired, and I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying that as an excuse. Well, maybe it just shot. I'm hoping you'll have some compassion for me. Hoping you're as tired as I am. Um, where is it? The real. Here you go. Now this is a cake for a 10-year-old birthday. Happy 10th birthday, Logan. An automatic weapon. Let's go, Brandon. Fuck Joe Biden. For a 10-year-old boy. I have to say that when I was 8, I was involved in politics, but not I was not educated about politics. I was working for people who were using me, exploiting me as part of a political campaign as a coffee boy and bumper sticker boy. And I've talked about this before in 1968 on the Nixon campaign. But I was involved in politics and curious about it at 8 years old. But at 10 years old, trying to impose your beliefs on a kid in that way, showing an automatic weapon and fuck Joe Biden or fuck any president with an automatic weapon on their 10-year old's birthday cake. That is definitely grooming. That's grooming somebody to be a kid to be a far right extremist, um, and a kind of a dangerous person. I mean, you basically the suggestion there is to kill the president. That's the suggestion I take away from that. You fuck Joe Biden and a picture of an automatic weapon on a kid's 10th birthday cake. Trying to it's suggestive to me. I'll show it again, and you want to see it again. I'm curious to see if you agree with me or disagree with me. If you disagree with me, I find it hard to believe that you would. That is the message of this. What grooming and indoctrination actually looks like. A 10-year-old birthday cake. Happy 10th birthday, Logan. I don't know what model of gun that would be, but it definitely looks like a machine gun, an automatic weapon. Let's go, Brandon. Fuck Joe Biden. For a 10-year-old. Wow. That is definitely, you want to keep your kids. I guess if you are an ideologue, because I know I have somebody in my life try to keep people's privacy. Somebody in my life who is of one political persuasion, heavily extreme in their political beliefs, and he has a 30 some odd 35-year-old son, 36, 7, 38-year-old son now, uh, who is on the opposite part of the spectrum, and it drives him crazy. So people do want their kids to grow up with the same values and principles and political alignment that they have. It doesn't always work out that way. And for if you're of a really, I don't know, extreme position, or you're really passionate about your team, go team, go, Democrat, Republican, whatever it is, it's kind of natural to want your children to grow up to have the same political affiliation that you do. I think that's a little extreme. Uh, Especially for 10-year-old, a 10-year-old birthday cake, just to say fuck the president on a 10-year-old's birthday cake is a little fucking weird. I don't know. Good coffee this morning. Koa Coffee. You got coffee? Koa Coffee is the best coffee in the world. And I'm going to say this again later, but I need a sip right now. So I have a literal mountain of work to do after this podcast is over. And uh, it's wearing me down. It's wearing me down. So when people who think I'm going to leave my job and work for myself, life will be so easy then. I'll be my own boss. Listen, I don't like bosses. That's definitely a plus. But life gets harder. It would be much easier for me to just close down shop and go work for somebody else, take a salary, put in 40 hours a week, although that never worked out in my entire life. I can't remember the last time I had a job in my life where actually worked 40 hours a week. It was intended to be 40 hours a week, but I don't think I've had a job in the last 30 years that resulted in me working less than 60 hours a week, often quite more than that. So, but it would be easy right now for me to not care, just take a job I didn't care about. Oh, speaking of that, I'll get to something else in a minute. Take a job I don't care about and just go get a paycheck and not have to deal with all the bullshit. When you work for yourself, people say, "Oh, you're just working 2 hours a day, or 3 hours a day doing podcasts. That's an easy job. You can just no, no. First of all, it's not an easy job. If you think sitting here talking to a microphone for 2.5 hours uh, is an easy job, and keeping things rolling, you never did it. You should try it sometime. I don't think most people would last 2 minutes, much less 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Um, Okay, that part of it gets easy once you know about. But that's not the job. The job is the booking. Job is the chasing down advertisers when they don't pay their bills, and you have to go. Hey, man, I haven't gotten a check from you in 6 months. We're way overdue. Yeah, it's checks in the mail. Yeah, I know how that works. And lots of that kind of stuff, and booking people, making the arrangements, doing the all the kind of back end stuff that you don't see, scheduling and all that. It's a lot of work, a lot of work. And then just to promote it because I'm not hiring a LinkedIn promoter who's going to get me fake listeners or bots from all over the world. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling people that the reality is a lot of people fantasize, think that going to work for yourself is going to be easy. It's going to be much easier. It's going to be a different life. It's not going to be a different life. You know what? I forgot to put up the governor's banner today. I feel bad about that. I'm sorry, Govs people. We are on Gov's radio podcast, and I appreciate that. We're ending our second week there tonight. The main room over in Levittown, Tammy Pescatelli is there. Go see her at Gov's Comedy Club in Levittown tonight. That promises to be a great show. I should pull what's going on up in the weekends at Gov's up and just kind of give a heads up to what those shows must look like for this weekend. Tell you that'll give me a second to do some lame typing here. Governor's comedy. Yes, there it is. He's blind. He's blind. He's totally blind. As the brokerage in Belmore this weekend, Brendan Sagalow will be there. That's tonight and tomorrow night. Brokerage in Belmore. And then I just don't know what to make of this. Um, Governors presents Louis C.K.'s special event. Um, I'm like, this was not there yesterday. This is a mind-blowing thing. You tell me Louis C.K. is going to be at the brokerage in Belmore Sunday night. I'm scheduled to go see Billy Wayne Davis in Brooklyn on Sunday night. Now, if you know the brokerage, it's hard to imagine Louis C.K. in that room. It's just not a very big room. And I know he's played places that aren't big, but this is a guy who does stadiums. Unless my eyes are deceiving me. And why the other people on Gov's radio podcast, they're not talking about this. Mike Chavel's got something to say about business stuff. Creating a business you run and a business you work are two different lifestyles. A business you work, you just created a job for yourself. Yes, I know. Um, Carl says Louis I don't know why you call him Louis. It's Louis. Louis does all kinds of small rooms. Have you seen the brokerage though? Wow, brokerage is, it reminds me of a old wine and cheese place. Um, I wonder what the seating is. I would guess, having been there for music stuff and recruited some players out of the brokerage. Trying to kind of guess at what the seating might 30, 40 seats in the place. I mean, it's pretty tiny. I don't know what they don't list that what the capacity for the club is, but I have to think it's I know Louis C.K. Um does small rooms, and he does. Yeah, I know it's spelled Louis professionally. I know that. Man, you are a little sissy. You can't take a little ribbon. You call man. I'm wondering if it's really not man, if it's woman. uh, and other than that, you're bald, and so, well, you're not bald, but you're bald enough to be sexually harassed. Yes, you little bald, big-titted woman. Um, Now I'm in really real trouble for saying big-titted woman. I want a big-titted woman. Mm-mm-mm. Carl knows a wall that definitely says he's a man. A wall? Oh, yes. Yes, he does. I can play with Carl. Come on. Anyway, um, I don't know. What do you feel about? I'm just shocked because nobody. This must have got booked like very late. It says free phone notice. What the hell does that mean? Governors presents Louis C.K. special event, free phone notice. By entering these premises, you agree not to photograph or record the performance. This event will be a phone-free experience. Oh, that's what phone free, not free phone. Okay, phone free notice means I bet you can't bring a phone in the place. Okay. I thought it meant they call you by phone and say, "Okay, the show's done." Use of I'm an idiot. What can I say? Use of cell phones, smartwatches, smart accessories, cameras, or recording devices will not be permitted in this performance space. I could get around that very easily. There are so many, and I've broken enough of them, but I still have enough um, cameras that I use to record the band and stuff um, that were meant to be spy cams, but like hidden in glasses on the side of your glasses and pens and all sorts of gadgets like that. So if I want to go there and tape it, I could. It's a 16 and over, which is weird because if there's a two-drink minimum, two-item minimum, as they're calling it, so I guess you have to buy two of anything. It could be two burgers. I don't know. Uh, if you are discovered photographing or videoing, you will be escorted from the theater. Calling the brokerage a theater is pretty funny. If you've been there, that's a theater. Okay. My living room's a theater. You hereby consent to management review of your phone's camera content and deletion. Oh, yeah, you think so? Good luck with that. Any images from the show. We appreciate your cooperation in creating a phone-free viewing experience. 16 and over. Six-time Emmy Award winner Louis C.K. has released over 10 stand-up specials. This is just big news for the brokerage, and it wasn't publicized until I think last night. Good for I know. Oh my God, still so much controversy and still so much hate for Louis C.K. out there. He doesn't care about it, and his fans don't care about it. In my view, he's still. I don't know how I would characterize it. He's still one of the biggest stars in comedy. And funny is funny, folks. You might not like that he played with his dick and asked girls to watch. I don't. I'm not of. This is such a. And I don't know why I'm hedging here. I'm not of the opinion that somebody should, if it's not physical abuse, actual physical, that they should actually pay the price for that for eternity. I don't know that he's ever apologized to the women in question. I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. But at some point, you just got to let it go. Yeah, a guy jerked off in front of you. Did Let it go. I've had guys jig off in front of me. Kind of weird, uh, especially given the situation. Um, you don't want it. It's not welcome. Well, I know lots of women who've been actually physically. I think almost all. I don't know. I don't know. I almost just said I think almost every woman has. That might not be true. That's probably a gross overstatement. But a great deal, a high percentage of women have been victims of real sexual abuse. Touching. I've been victims of real sexual abuse, and I say that not as in an employment where somebody talked about my head being bald. I had women bosses who put their hands on me in very inappropriate ways. Let it go. You can't just hold on to that forever. And so I could, if he's actually guilty of a crime, you prosecute it or you bring it to the public awareness, and then the public can do whatever the frig they want with it. But it's just because I see Jen Kirkman constantly. Like, she's not letting this go, even for people who she didn't have direct knowledge of or direct experience with. Just every single day, uh, ex- asking people, asking other comedians to take the law into their own hands, or not necessarily take the law into their own hands, take the issue into their own hands, and cut off their own careers to make her feel better about a guy who jerked off in front of her. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that, but my bottom line here is I still think Louis C.K. is a funny guy. I still think he's one of the brightest stars in comedy. He might be a dick, but I think there are 7 billion people walking the planet, all of whom might be a dick. I can guarantee you, I've been a dick, and I continue to work to be less of a dick. I brought this up yesterday because um, the word woke came up, and I've heard friends now because I wrote a blog piece a couple of weeks ago saying that I'd never heard anybody describe themselves as woke, and I think it's something the right wing has weaponized to people who are simply being less of a dick than they used to be, who've recognized things, areas of their lives where they used to be a dick and have worked on it and tried to improve it. So I don't characterize myself as woke. I think that's a weapon that you hand the other side when you say, "Hey, I'm woke." But you have to recognize that you've been wrong about things in your life, and you look at issues and you say, "You know what? Maybe I need to soften that up a little bit. Maybe I need to soften my attitude on X, Y, or Z." And understand. And so being less of a dick, yeah, I like that. I like that. That's what we should call it. Instead of being woke, call it I'm being less of a dick. I'm intentionally working on being less of a dick. Otis Hicks says he used to work in a sex shop, so I know a dick when I see one. I know a dick when I see one too. Good morning, Craig Johnson. Uh, how are the fires? What's the situation out in New Mexico? Um, If you're just joining me, I'm in shock right now because I found out that we're on Gov's podcast, Gov's radio, and just found out I've been promoting shows for they've had at Levittown, and Tammy Pescatelli is at the Levittown, the main room tonight, and I've been promoting that and trying to get her on the program. And then I find out that this Sunday, just now I found out that Louis C.K. is at the brokerage. Again, I wish I had photos of the inside of the brokerage to let you see how small it is. Now, again, I am not naive to the fact that Louis C.K. has played lots of smaller venues that aren't theaters and stuff. But you have to appreciate exactly what the brokerage is. It was a jazz club, jazz music. And that alone should give me an idea. You see this room behind me? It looks like a little jazz club. That's what we're talking about. I mean, he could from the stage probably throw a spitball, hit the guy in the back row. I'm thinking 30 seats tops. I have to relook at it, but 50, 60 rooms is still great to work at. Yeah, I get that, but not on Long Island in Belmore, Long Island. It's just very weird. Like there's other rooms in the main building in Levittown. I guess he doesn't want to take away from whatever else was there. And it's a Sunday night. I could appreciate that. Not doing it for the money, not doing it for the crowds, but I can't imagine there's any seats left already because that had to have sold out in flat second. 30 tickets, boom, boom, like that. Is there a price on it? Buy tickets. I want to see what the price is here. Doesn't say. There's no. You click on the buy. Oh, sorry, this show is sold out. Wow. Like I said, they probably just posted it last night, and it's already sold out. Too bad. I wish I would have known this. Not like I was gonna get Louis C.K. on the program. I've tried, believe me, I've tried. Um, Not like that was ever gonna happen. He still sells out, and he won an Oscar. No, he didn't. He won a Grammy. Same thing. Shitty award. He does still sell out, but 52, yeah, great rooms. I got that one. His ticket sales are not the same, but he still sells out, and then he's funny. I think his ticket sales are even better. I don't know. The winds have finally stopped here as of this morning. Air crews will be able to finally make headway up north. Damn, was just assuming the fires were out. Damn, what a terrible start to a season. Start. Can you imagine by August if they don't get some rain? I mean, I guess I can complain about it and hope all I want. There's nothing that we're gonna do that's gonna cause it to rain. I mean, that's where superstition comes in handy, I guess. Do the rain dance. Maybe it'll work. Got to believe in some of that stuff. Last night on the program, Stephen G. Post, Dr. Stephen G. Post, uh, Doctor of Medical Humanities, was on my program, and it's interesting. And we talked a little bit about Rick Strassman and DMT and all this stuff. Dr. Post, who I consider a friend now, second time I've had him on the program, but he works right next to where my old office is, and we have a lot in common. I've talked quite a bit off the air, and he's a guy I definitely feel a comradeship with on a lot of things. Anyway, he is a medical professional and a PhD who does a lot of research into mind and the role that mind and consciousness play in healing. And he's also a believer in God, but not necessarily the God that you think that what that means to you, because we talk quite a bit, and he agrees with me on the Carl Sagan position about this. You can't, because somebody said yesterday on Twitter, and Kevin, our friend Kevin, was quick to answer no. The question was, do you believe in God? And Kevin said no. My comeback is, you can't answer that question until you define God. What does it mean to you? Because it means a lot. You got the Einsteinian God. You have, God of the energy that is described in quantum physics as the source of the universe. Is that God? Even though you can't, it's not human form. Or you have the biblical version of God with the old man in the cloud stuff. Now, you could say you don't believe in that if that's the way you define it, but you have to define it before you say you don't believe in it. But Dr. Post definitely believes in a supreme intelligence that is guiding, or is responsible for the creation of the universe as we know it. Whether that takes any kind of biblical form, he's of the belief that probably not. But it was a very interesting uh, discussion and program. So I urge people to go see it, check it out from last night. It's Dr. Stephen G. Post. Part of the discussion, because he has two books out. Well, God and Love on Route 80, which he describes an encounter that he definitely felt has some supernatural aspects to it. And then his latest book, which is Dignity, which is all about treating people with Alzheimer's, or as he calls them, profoundly forgetful people, um, and the care for people, and the difference between just growing old and becoming more forgetful, and dementia, and what that really means. So, a really interesting program. I hope you'll check it out. Craig says he predicts that the BWD show will kill in Brooklyn. He's got some uh, cool people that are going to be with him too. And I'm surprised that show is not sold out yet. Really surprised. And that's not a big room either. That looks like a great room for comedy. The Littlefield in Brooklyn. Again, it needs a. It was not intended for comedy. It was intended to be like an art gallery room or a highbrow performance arts space. But it does look like an amazingly fun room for comedy. Like the seating arrangements and the floor design, stage design, all of it looks like it will be an extremely satisfying show. And I'm wondering if this is actually the first time they've actually had comedy there. Um, but I'm really shocked at this, because I know Billy has been adding guest stars to the lineup, some of whom are recognizable names and probably have a draw of their own. And the room is not that big. But now he's competing with Louis C.K. just 20 miles away uh, for that. And that's really weird, though, that they didn't advertise that show. They didn't mention that show until probably yesterday. I don't know. I wasn't on the site yesterday, but it wasn't on the site earlier this week when I was promoting this stuff. So, and that sold out like almost immediately. So people had no plans for Saturday night. Find out Louis C.K.'s there, boom, buy the tickets, and sold out like that. But again, we're talking probably 30 people. Um, so that's where it is. We're waiting Kiara, who will be here in about 10 minutes. And then later on, we have a comedian who will be with us. I want to make sure I pronounce his name right. I haven't even, this is how far behind I am today. I haven't even looked at Chris Pernod, I think is how you pronounce it. PayPal sent me a receipt for what? I didn't buy anything on PayPal. That's not right, man. Don't be spending my money without asking me about it. I hate that shit. Uh, Chris Pernod. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Chris Pernod. I should get his information to put it in. Now, it seems to me Chris Pernod as much as being a stand-up comedian at one point might have been, or I don't know if he still is, a heavy metal musician. And he has a meat lettuce podcast. He's from New Jersey, Bloomfield, New Jersey, and he's got a podcast called the Meat Lettuce Podcast. Interesting name, Meat Lettuce. Oh, sounds like a good name for a heavy metal band, I guess. The Meat Lettuce Band, or just Meat Lettuce. Um, Whatever. So he'll be with us at 10 o'clock. Hopefully. I mean, yesterday, Trevor Nutt did get in touch with me and has rescheduled. Uh, Turns out he's a student and was cramming for finals and up all night and just overslept yesterday. Excuses, excuses. But that's one I can definitely relate to. You know, they say there's no such thing as a good excuse. I think that's a pretty good excuse. My life, my backup plan in life needed some attention, is basically what it was. Listen, I don't I don't think having a backup plan, if you want to do something in your life, my position on it, being much older and I wish I would have known this or had this what is it? It's not a conviction. Philosophy when I was a very young man is that having a backup plan is not a good thing. It leads you to it draws you back to the backup plan. As long as you have that safety net, you're going to land in the safety net. I would not have gone to college if I could do my life over. I would have figured out exactly what I really wanted to do with my life and focused on that right from the beginning. But that being said, once you make that decision to go to college and you have finals, you have to see it through and you have to do the best you can. And so, and your choices between doing some podcast with some dude who has a minimal following and nobody knows who he is. He's just a nobody in the morning versus acing my finals that I paid $100,000 to be able to take. You have to go with the latter. You have to go with taking the test and getting the test right, rather than being on this program. So I appreciate, understand his excuse. I would do the same in his position. Anyway, I feel so sexually harassed over my baldness today, and it's getting kind of hot. Getting kind of hot in here, even though it's dark and dreary again out. And I know the people out in Southwest don't want to hear about the rain and dark and clouds and all that kind of stuff. They could use some cool air and some water, but that's the reality I'm dealing with. Um, Issues with Andy comes out today at 12 p.m. today. Now, this should be an interesting one because I'm wondering, and I don't think it will have that great effect, but I burnt Andy out for 2.5 hours on Monday morning, and then they recorded the latest issues with Andy after that, sometime later in the day. So he did 5 hours, well, close to 5 hours of podcast that day. I could burn anybody out. Now, Andy is like a almost an endless well. Not almost. He's an endless well of humorous anecdotes, and I don't know how he just keeps finding things to talk about that are hysterically funny. But there doesn't seem to be any bottom to that well. He just so that comes out today at 12. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, go to Issues with Andy on Patreon and subscribe and support them. And that never lets you down. Every Friday comes out. And now they're doing special stuff for Patreon where they're having guests on. I think this was inspired by the Inman thing that went really bad, and they decided, well, maybe guests aren't wouldn't be bad if we had good guests. So the most recent one has features Henry Phillips. Henry Phillips, great guy, great comedian, great. I want to say he could be a great songwriter in serious songs, but he's a great humorous songwriter. I want to put that out because if I say just call him a great songwriter, people will think he's Jackson Brown or James Taylor or a singer songwriter type, which he definitely could be, and I've said that to him personally. Is that he could have definitely been a rock star. He had all the tools to be that. Was that a rock star? Singer songwriter, um, very successful at it, but he started writing songs that made his friends laugh, and that led to comedy, and so that's what he does. So his music is almost, at least the music that I'm aware of that he publishes, is almost all satirical, funny music, not necessarily serious singer-songwriter music. That's all I can call it. Anyway, so Henry's was on the most recent special edition of Issues with Annie, but the normal edition comes out today at 12 p.m., 12 noon. I think it's Eastern, 12 noon Eastern, which would be 9 a.m. Pacific. Um, so that's that. Chris Panilla live at the Meat Locker. Uh, wow, I got a bunch of fucking people uh, DMing me today. I'm not going to go through them all, but just wow, what the hell is this all about? Um, ah, I'm saying I shouldn't be doing this. I'm waiting for Kiera, who will be here any moment. 215. Holy crap! No, 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 no. No, no, no. Wow. All right. I'm all caught up. I'm sorry to do that on your time. I'm just here trying to kill time, actually. If you're just joining me, a lot of the discussion today, I started talking about Elon Musk, who's the sale of Twitter is now on hold. He says he's still committed to it, and there's a ton of speculation as to why it's on hold. The Every single one of those explanations makes no sense to me. Wow. Seeing First weekend dance with Victor and Oksana at the Lviv hospital in Oksana, 23-year-old nurse from Lis- Lysychansk. These people don't know how to name places. She lost her legs on March 27th, but she got married yesterday, and the picture I should show if I can share this. Kind of, it's touching, but I don't know. I don't know how to describe. I don't think. What do I think? I really should keep my mouth shut on this. Or just let the pictures speak for themselves. Oh, that's not it. That ain't it. Stop. Um, close this one. There it is. Oh, it's called. I don't know why I'm on that page. Excuse me. I'm sorry for being such a dick. As I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to be less of a dick. So here it is. So here's the video of her. She now
Перший весільний танець. Оплески.
she obviously has no legs, and that's the first dance. Now that could be heartwarming, and of course it is. And she's very emotional there. Russian mine exploded and took off her legs, and that was March 27th. And she got married yesterday. So less than 2 months after losing her legs to a Russian mine, uh, got married yesterday. Now, I guess it's a feel good story, but anytime I see something like this that is, you know, heartwarming in some degree, you think about the long term. This gentleman who is marrying her, he bargained for a lot in his life. He's gonna have an awfully big heart and lots of compassion for the rest of his life and deal with things that as a young person, oh sure, I'll be able to handle that. But I think we delude ourselves when we think, and some. I hope he does. I hope he has the power and strength to kind of see that marriage through to be a happy, supportive marriage for the rest of their lives. But let's face it, folks, that's a difficult road to hoe. That's a really, really tough thing. So when I see something like that, my initial reaction is, that's a heartwarming story, and then immediately I go to, ooh, gonna be a tough life for both of them. Heartwarming, yeah, crash. Chilling, heartwarming and chilling in the same breath. Maybe it's because I'm just too negative a person, which is why Kiara is here in the first place, is because she's not as jaded as me. She's not not jaded at all. She's a happy person, and we need some happiness, right? And I'm trying to be happy, and again, my first inclination is that's a nice story. My second inclination is, oh, that poor bastard. Anyway, it's time to bring in Kiara. Let me just tell you, and hopefully you will support our sponsors in some way, you cheap fucks. This segment of the dog is brought to you. This segment of the Coffee with the Dog is brought to you by Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards, earning on every point, on every flight. That's the point. Join Rapid Rewards to earn points you can use for any seat, anytime, no blackout dates, and any points. And points don't expire. As a Rapid Rewards member, you can earn points by flying or spending with our partners, and you can use them how and when you want. Plus, if you're short on points, you can always purchase more to get the reward you want. Links in the description, folks. Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards. Patronize these affiliate sponsors so we can get some support for this, because if not, I'm not going to threaten you with anything, but I will end up losing Kara, and then you're going to have to put up with a show with me, just me, for 2 hours. And wouldn't that suck? So do the right thing here. Support it, or go to coffee.com, coffee, that's KO uh, hyphen fi .com/minddog TV, and support that way. But we need some support for this segment. It's called the Happy News, Happy Minute, whatever it's called. It's happy something. Let's get happy. I called the audience cheap fucks. Look at that background. I got my dumb bald head. You know,
That's
I just want to tell you about this. There's a guy. I'm sure you're not aware of this story yet. There's a guy in the UK who sued because people at work mentioning his bald head was a form of sexual harassment, and he won. Now he's going to get a settlement for being referred to as bald.
That's sexual? I wasn't aware.
They said, yeah, right. In the decision, the judge commented that commenting on a man's baldness is the same as talking about a woman's breasts.
Okay.
So,
I'll have to disagree with that, but
me too. As a bald man, I could say I've never felt sexually harassed in my life by people pointing out or noticing that I was bald or saying something about it, even joking about it, even trying to be bullyish about it. It doesn't feel like sexual harassment to me at all. But
right now, that background does look like a nippleless breast.
I
So
didn't see
maybe
that.
that's why.
Let me see that again. But no, but if this guy's getting money, yeah, you're right.
Right? Maybe that's why.
Well, I always said that gay men were attracted to me because my head reminded them of a penis. But gay guys, to me, I'm like catnip to gay guys. Gay guys are attracted to me like I'm the most beautiful, like the most beautiful woman is attractive to guys. Gay guys just like gravitate all my life. Now I don't know that now that I'm older, it may be wearing off, but I've had like been hit on so many times by gay guys that I understand how women feel about it. You know, I get it. I'm hot. Leave me alone.
I think
But
it's also, yes, you're hot, and also, I think it's because straight men, it's like they can't have them, so they,
all right.
it's like
Oh, that's yeah. Well, but it's
it's
not the
like a
same.
married man. It's a married man. You know how the women always flock to married men in
Do
the
they?
bars? Yeah, always. If they see a ring, it's like a challenge for them.
I wish I would have known this earlier.
Yeah,
I would
where
have flaunted the ring. I would have said. I would have walked in like this.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. It's a challenge
But
for gay men, I think, because you're not the first straight person to say that. So.
yeah, if that guy's getting money though, I mean, again, I'm not. I've never felt harassed, and I've never. But I should now that he's going to get paid for it. I think I have a lot of money coming to me because people have been.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When me and Mikey first started this band, he was relentless with ball jokes, and I was quiet about it for a month or so, and let him every time we played, he was just like commenting on baldness, and then I like at one point all right, this has gone too far, and I started making fat jokes about him, and then that was extreme. Once I become a pit bull on that stuff, like I was doing posters of him as Orca at SeaWorld, you know, and it was brutal. So he finally backed off and stopped doing that. But so if Mikey owes me money, then
I should do that. Matt, do you know my whole life, everyone always made like skinny jokes. I never once said, well, you're a fat fuck,
you just did,
I
and
should
made me
just do
choke on
that.
Koa Coffee.
Every Koa Coffee, the best coffee to choke on. But no, my whole life, well, look at you, you skinny bitch. What am I supposed to say? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not a fat fuck.
That's
And
what you're
just
supposed
like
to
that.
say.
Just like that.
I can't believe women would pick on you for being skinny because I thought all women wanted to be skinny.
They are so mean and so brutal to skinny women, but nobody says anything and if I were a man, I would go after a woman that was heavier because I think it's cute on a woman. But I never comment. The point is I never comment on a woman's weight, whether they're skinny or whether they're fat or whether they're medium size. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. It's part of it's genetics, and here I am sitting at work and everyone's calling me a skinny bitch and how much they hate me. I'm sorry. I work out. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I exercise.
I
I watch what I eat. I'm sorry.
I
I'm not
understand
sorry.
Yeah, I get it. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Maybe I should shut up. But I don't think I think there are certain cases when there are medical reasons for obesity, but there are other
Right.
that sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes it's dark out because there are no lights on. Sometimes people are fat because they eat too much and don't exercise. That's
Right.
But we want to say that it's a medical thing, a thyroid problem with all of them. With some people, that's definitely legitimate. But there are a lot of people who are just obese because for all the reasons you would assume people are obese.
Right.
You eat too much, and
Right.
you never exercise in your life.
Right. So just the same reason why you don't want people commenting on your your baldness.
I don't. I don't actually
same.
like it. I've never I've never had a problem with anybody making fun of bald people or having a joke with it. When it becomes like Mikey was doing it all day
Right.
long and
All
all
the
day night,
time.
it's like, all right, the
Yeah.
joke's getting old now. I mean, give it
But
a
I like
rest.
how you spun it. It's good. So
Yeah. But I do
like
think
that.
I need some money. If this guy's getting paid,
Yeah.
I do think
I
it's a
should
bad
sue,
thing for
too.
society too that people will go to court to sue over the least
Everything.
offense. Yeah, like what's next? You tall? I can't comment
Right.
on you. I can't say you're
Yeah.
tall. You're tall,
Exactly. You can't say anything to anybody anymore.
right?
You just pass each other. You know.
Well, I say basically take it to the point of you've witnessed a crime. The police says, "Well, what did the guy look like?" Can't tell you, man. I'm going to get sued.
Right.
I
Exactly.
can't. It was a human. I could tell you that much. I definitely looked like human.
Right.
Well, was it male or female? I'm not going
No,
there. Are you
you
kidding me?
can't say that.
No,
No, I don't
that
know.
could be anything.
Right.
Lots of pronouns. Could be he, she, they, we, ze.
Gender fluid, human form, humanoid
Right.
robbed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Louis C.K., you familiar with him? Of course you're familiar
Yeah,
with him.
I can't believe he's a pervert, but yeah, I thought he was funny for the longest. I mean, he's funny. He's a funny
Right.
pervert.
He's a pervert, but he admits to being a pervert. I mean, he admits that his thing is weird, and he's got daughters and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
Gov's Radio, a little Gov's Radio thing there. He's actually at doing a surprise show in Belmore at Brokerage this Sunday night. And if
Okay.
you've ever been to Brokerage,
No.
it's like the size of this room.
Okay.
So it's a guy who's used to being in, and Carl pointed out several times that yes, he does some smaller clubs to work on some material, but this is like really intimate. This is like so intimate. It might as well be a living room show, which is really, and they didn't announce it, so I just started promoting it this morning. So he's going to be there Sunday night. That's
So
just a
you think
surprise.
that he can't get jobs anymore because of?
No, he's still selling out there. He won a Grammy Award for Best Album. Like the industry has definitely moved on. There are certain women who were part of his thing. His thing was, his thing. He asked women if he could jerk off in front of them, and
I thought they could jerk off in front of him.
no, he could jerk off in front of them. He asked women, and so basically they said yes, but they were claiming that they said yes only because he was more powerful in the comedy world and didn't want to lose work. So they said yes, and he did it. And then years after that, they finally came out and complained about it, that he jerked off in front of us. So he has a thing in his bit about the album that he won. He said, "Let me tell you, if you," he's talking about people knowing about his thing. He said, "If you ask a woman if it's okay and she says yes, still don't do it." That's the lesson he learned. So even if you ask for consent and she says yes, still don't do it. But
that's awkward. That's just weird.
Yeah, it's
like, hey,
weird.
How you doing? Do you mind if I jerk off in front of you?
But
yes. Okay. One second.
I know.
Get comfortable.
Listen. Okay. I think we have the same kind of power dynamic within our band, right? So I think I do have more power and say with the business of the Rockin' 45, and I think I think I can speak for you on this. That if I said, "Kiera, is it okay if I jerk off in front of you?" You would say, "What? No! What are you stupid?" and walk away.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It's happened with another band member. Not that the jerking off, but if he could take me home. And I did exactly that. I said, "What?" Right. I said, "Keep your voice down." Why am I going to keep my voice down? Do you hear what you just said? Just like that.
So the point is the power dynamic doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because I know in the same situation, with the power dynamic being almost the same, you would act like a normal person and say, "That's absurd, you weirdo."
Right. I mean, my mother always says, you never know what happens behind closed doors, and who knows how he said it, or, how scary he looked at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never like to get involved with those stories because you just never know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So last night I had a great program with Dr. Stephen G. Post, who is he's a scientist, and he's from Stony Brook, where I used to work, and knows my department well, and we have a lot in common over there. Yeah, but he's got two books out. One is called God and Love on Route 80, where he had when he was a young man, a spiritual, somewhat of a miracle in his mind. And he's, a scientist talking about his belief in a supreme being. It's like every every time you open your mouth about this stuff, you put your career in jeopardy in some way. But he was invited to Oxford University to give a speech about it. He was just there last week, and he's kind of a very interesting guy on that level, because I know scientists who are not atheists, but they generally are pretty shy about it. But he's extremely open about about his beliefs and where he comes from on all that stuff. So that was an interesting program. The second part of it was about dignity, about how we care for people with Alzheimer's and extremely forgetful people is how he calls he refers to them. He said, because even just calling them Alzheimer's patients is kind of disrespectful to what they go through. When we think of them as extremely forgetful and find ways to make them feel,
they'll never remember anyway.
no, I
Sorry.
think short-term memory is there. It's the long-term memory that goes. It's like I forgot my
depends.
Kids. It depends.
It depends. No,
That's more of another joke. The depends jokes. That's
Oh no. Well, my aunt went through it pretty bad, and but she, at first it was long term. She remembered people, and then as it progressed, she didn't remember second to second. It was very sad.
But the interesting part of it for me, and if you get into this work, you're going to find it true, is that I brought it up. I play for Alzheimer's patients all the time, and music is the best medicine for bringing them back to life, bringing them back to the person they used to be. Because I've played for people who have had no real interaction with their family for years, for 2 years or so. Go in and the wife will say, "Well, he used to like this song." I play the song, and all of a sudden he starts clapping his hands, even possibly sometimes singing the words, and the wife is in tears, like, you brought him back to life. And it's not me, of course, it's the music. And so the healing power of music, and we were talking about this, and there needs to be a whole lot of more research about how exactly and why that works. But clearly what it proves is there is a way to get through these people and bring them back to themselves if we can find it and find a way to utilize it better and use that kind of therapy more to bring them out more long term. There's a lot of power there. Yeah, it's really a really positive discussion anyway.
Wow, how beautiful.
Yeah. Got a comedian on today who might be a little dirty. I'm not sure what to expect with him. His name is Chris Prideaux, so he's coming on at 10 o'clock. It could be like really dirty. Might be not your cup of tea, but we'll see.
I don't mind dirty comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where he's coming from. He's a New Jersey guy, and he looks young, and he looks.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
He's from Jersey.
So, you got anything happy for us today?
It was slim pickings, I do have to say. I'll save
Slim pickings,
the better one for later. So let me just get this.
You know, Slim Pickens is an actor, don't you?
He's a great guy. Is it real? He's real.
Yeah, Slim Pickens. Yeah. He was in Honeysuckle Rose with Willie Nelson. You'd know him if you saw him.
What, in 1925, and you're going to be mad I don't know him?
In 1980s or something. But he's actually in Dr. Strangelove. He's the guy riding the rocket at the end of the movie in Dr. Strangelove. Slim Pickens. He is an old country, he's an actor more than a musician, but he got a very definitive Southern drawl. You'd know him if you saw him.
So Slim Pickens is a fairly new saying. It's not.
I don't know. Maybe they named him after the saying. Maybe his parents were just. Maybe his name was Slim Pickens, Lamar Burton Lindley Jr. Born June 29th, 1919. He died in 83?
See?
Died in 83, yeah. Wow.
Someone from 1919. I'm sorry. I didn't know
Well,
that.
you wait. Let me pull up his picture here. You'll recognize him. Hold on, I think
Okay,
you'll
let
recognize
me
him.
see.
I think he was in Blazing Saddles, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. I might know him from there.
Slim, where are you, Slim? Here you go, Slim Pickens. That's
Oh,
him. Oh,
no, hold on. It's
no.
black for me.
Oh, black.
I just see blackness. Oh, there we go. I don't have my glasses on. Sorry, everybody. Uh, yeah, uh, looks a little familiar.
Yeah, that looks like it's from Blazing Saddles.
He's
He played a
okay.
cowboy in a lot. Anyway, that's Slim Pickens.
All right.
Because you said the phrase Slim Pickens, I had to show you that Slim Pickens was
Well,
a
this
real.
isn't about Slim Pickens. It's about Slim Pickens, and I had
Uh,
to pick something.
okay,
So,
well, what'd you pick? Besides your
well,
nose.
yes, this is UPI, and this is about a geriatric Canadian who achieves the world record for becoming the oldest man to record a headstand. I'm not making this
Oh,
up.
this is not
Yeah.
Jackie. It's not Jackie.
On his, not a handstand, a headstand, which is
Headstand.
impossible for me. So I give this guy credit. And he's boasting about his being 75 years old and 33 days, to be exact. He's from Quebec. He has become the oldest man on record to successfully perform a headstand, and Guinness World Records has confirmed this.
How much did they charge him? That's what I care about. How much did
$1 million. That's
yeah,
how much they charge.
okay.
And they go on about his life, and he began a concerted effort to start training and live a healthier lifestyle at 55. And once he mastered the skill of holding the inverted posture, started performing it all over town, whether people asked or not. He was doing headstands everywhere.
That's
And
gotta
everyone had
hurt.
to applaud because they felt obligated to applaud. Wow, thank you. Can I purchase my groceries now?
Do you
Tony,
see a picture
maybe
there?
Stone.
Does the guy look old? Because 75. I saw a picture of a
No.
guy last night on Facebook, and he was. Oh,
Here's
see,
me.
yeah. So that's not that old. He doesn't look that old.
Well, he's in shape. He's
They
a
had
fit
some
guy.
guy on Facebook last night playing guitar, and they were trying to. He wasn't that good. He was okay, but because he was 72 at 72 years, and he looked like a 92-year-old man, but 72, and I'm like, 72 is not that old.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney's 80, and he's still playing guitar and singing and doing concerts. This guy, it's no big deal that a 72-year-old guy can still play some blues songs or whatever.
Right. Right.
People acting like 72 is and
The man I
72 is
play
old.
with, I think
Yeah.
he's 75. The man I'm playing with, Joe.
Well, ask him if he
Yeah.
can do a headstand for you. Next time he wants to, the next time he calls you and said, "When can we rehearse again?" Say, "I'm only coming to your house when I get there, you're standing on your head."
Juggling chainsaws with your feet.
Wow, you really are an extremist.
Yes.
Did you see the story I was talking about when you came in? Russian, Ukrainian nurse.
Yes.
She got her legs blown off on March 27th by stepping on them on. This 2 months ago, and got married yesterday. And they were having their first dance, and the guy was holding her up because she's got
I
no
saw
legs.
that. I saw that. Oh my god.
And so I had the dual reaction to it. It's a heartwarming story. Good for him. He went through the wedding. He loves her. He's being supportive of her. He's holding her up, and they're having their first dance. No matter, even though they've gone through this, but at some point the reality is going to hit home that this is not going to be an easy life, and it's a huge commitment for the guy to make. Unfortunately, that's a tough, cold-hearted thing for me to say, but it's a huge commitment for him to make. He's going to have, if it's really meant to be a lifelong marriage and till death do us part, his life is going to be consumed by taking care of her, and that will eat into their financial stability and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I know, but it is romantic because. But I'm sure they could give her. Do you think they can give her some limbs, some prosthetic limbs? Do you think they could go all the way up?
Probably.
I've seen the calves, prosthetic calves, but maybe there's hope in this story. Maybe she'll get 2 prosthetic limbs that she can learn to walk on.
Yeah,
Be
as long as
nice.
there's medical cover, people to pay the bills.
I
It all
know.
comes
I
down to the
know.
money, right? Yeah, because if there's money there, yes, medical science has come a long way, and they can do
Right.
miraculous things, and that would be a good thing. So maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe there's hope. See, good for you. You kind of took me out of the negativity of what might be with that story, and now I'm thinking maybe there's hope. Maybe they'll have a bright future
Ooh.
together.
Oh, what's that? What's that movie? It's the exact same. I think she lost her legs. I don't know if it was a shark attack or something. It was a beautiful movie, and if I have to remember it, I'll tell you to watch it. Basically, she lost her legs, and she was all depressed and suicidal, and life was meaningless. And this man just came out of nowhere, and he was really harsh to her. He said, "Just what are you doing? Get up, do something with your life." And he got her motivated. He got her exercising and getting a job, and they fell in love. But
Doesn't
Salt and Bone or something. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second.
All right. It doesn't sound like anything I remember. So it couldn't have been like a big blockbuster movie.
No, I don't watch blockbuster movies. I watch good movies. No, I'll have to find it. Salt and Bone is a restaurant in Germany. I'm sorry, Germany. It's not that. Don't go there. Can't review it. Never been to Germany.
All right. I'm gonna let you out and
Bye.
look.
I'm gonna research.
Look for happy movies. Where's my damn thing? I'm always looking for my damn thing. Here's my. All right, now, Koa Coffee is the best coffee in the world, and my cup is run almost empty of the best coffee in the world. So I have a clip I can play that gives me 1 minute and 20 seconds exactly to go get a fresh cup of coffee and be back in this seat. So I'm going to try to do that. I hope you will stick with me. Chris Pernod is coming. I got notice. He's in the bathroom. He will be with us in a few minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to go get a fresh cup of the best coffee in the world, despite what Forbes may say about being top 10 in the world. I'm telling you, it's the best coffee in the world. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get my running shoes on before I actually hit the button. Give me a half second extra on the time to get to the coffee, fill it up, and get back here. Here we go, Koa Coffee. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of Aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with Aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. He's back in the seat. Back in the seat in time. Now I'm getting text messages. I have to look into what they are. Have to. Okay. It's nothing important. I got a couple of text messages that are not important in case anybody cares. Chris Pernod will be with us shortly, I guess. Carl says he drank Koa Coffee and married an amputee. but was it a bald amputee? Is what's really important here. I feel a little sexually harassed by my own joke there. I'm probably gonna have to sue myself. Um, anyway, Koa Coffee will not. In case you're wondering, Koa Coffee will not make you marry an amputee. A double amputee. But the woman was not an amputee. She was a blastutee. I'm sorry. That's a terrible joke. It's not even funny, but I laugh anyway. She got her legs blown off by a mine, which is, listen, it's amputee is terrible. But you go into the hospital, you get sedated, you're out cold, lots of local anesthesia. And even when you come, you're like in painkillers and all that kind of stuff, constantly cared for. Again, it's not an easy thing, and I would never want to go through it. But compared that to having your legs blown off by stepping on a mine, amputee is the easy way to go. So you know, it's a much harder life, a much harder existence. Uh, I can't wait to bust Chris Pernod's balls about the reason he's a little bit late today. He's still in the bathroom. He needs a moment. He needs a moment to get all set up. Sorry, I'm using the bathroom. That's funny. It's funny because it's real. Yesterday, this is so speaking of funny, real, weird. I got a email from UPS. No, I'm not kidding about this. It says, "Congratulations on your hire. We've decided you're the candidate, and here's your uh, terms of employment, benefits package, benefits information, all that stuff. And we need you in early on Monday, a half an hour early to go through the paperwork at the HR." Apparently, I've been hired by UPS to run a UPS store in Jacksonville, Florida, without ever applying for the job, interviewing for the job, or ever having any desire to have the job, or even knowing it existed. Uh, which is weird. I would think, oh, well, they just got the email address wrong. They just sent this to the wrong email address, and somebody else applied for this job, and congratulations. But no, said, "Dear Matt Napo." And I looked at it, it doesn't seem to be scam, spam, phishing, anything. Because all they're asking me to do is show up a half hour early at the office in Jacksonville, Florida, on Monday morning for my new position. It's got to be one of the weirdest emails I ever got in my life. Uh, and I'm not sure what to make of it, because my first inclination was, what's the scam here? How are they trying to rip me off with this? And there was nothing for me to click on, nothing for me to follow up on. Uh, it's just very weird. And so, what do you make of that? I'm sure. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I would be surprised if anybody else ever had that experience. Um, but it just seems so bizarre that I can't even figure out how you might use that to be a scam in any way. I'd just love to hear your thoughts on that. If you have any, you can put them in the chat room, one of whatever chat rooms you might be in. Don't have, excuse me. I don't have a program for you tonight, which is a good thing. I've been taking no Friday nights until the end of music season, outdoor music season, which extends to October. And we generally gig on during the winter on some Friday nights too, but not as much. And we're definitely slowing down now that my partner Mike is getting old. I'm not getting old, even though I'm older than he is. I'm still willing to gig 5 nights a week, but I can. I don't have a day job to go to. I do have a day job. Mike Shavola pointed out before. Here's what he said about that. Creating a business you run and a business you work are two different lifestyles. A business you work, you're just creating a job for yourself. So I do have a job for myself. You're right. I created a job for myself. So I do have a day job, but my day job is flexible enough that I can play gigs on a Friday night and have or even on a Wednesday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon or any afternoon. I have the flexibility to go do that and the energy and the desire. Mikey got married 6 years ago now. And that marked the point where he said, I don't want to gig as much as we used to. I want to be home with my wife and television. Kelly says, my work computer must be from 1943. It's updating for an hour. Happy Friday. I don't believe they had personal computers in 1943, but sounds like you may have a bench warrant. Oh, in Florida? No. ABQ used to send free DVD players and then arrest the people when they showed up to claim. There, a bench warrant in. I haven't been to Florida in 10 years, 11 years. And what might the bench warrant be for? I didn't break any laws last time I was there. No, I doubt that's it. But that would make sense, Craig. That's a very astute conclusion to draw from that. I could definitely see that would be a possibility. But again, if they'd have to know if this was the case, they'd have to know that I'm not a Florida resident, right? Jacksonville, Florida. I'm not putting UPS store managers down, but that's a pretty menial job. Not worth relocating from New York for, but by any stretch of the imagination, and not if you're an old man like me who's retired from that life working for somebody else. They'd have to know. You got a bench warrant. You'd have to know Matt Napo lives in Long Island, New York, and wouldn't they? I guess if they're Florida authorities, they'd want to pick me up in Florida. But to think that I'm going to get on a plane for it, no, I can't. And knowing that I never applied for the job or interviewed for it, or that I even want it, I don't want it. You couldn't pay me enough money. I can say, if you want to pay me $44 billion, I will manage your UPS store for a week, and then I'll say this is not worth it. This is a fucking job. As much as I complain about the job that I'm doing here, man, Chris Bernal taking a long time in the bathroom, don't you think? Kelly says she needs a beer, a hug, and a Valium. Jesus, what a morning! Wow, sorry, Kelly. I got a Koa Coffee if that helps. I could give you a hug if that helps, but I don't have any Valium, and could not get it to Kansas City Mo. Even if I had a Valium. So I'm sorry you're having a rough morning. You know what, Kelly? You weren't with us earlier. I should get your opinion on this. And I'm sure you've seen the stuff that Jamie put out there about the Guardian article about bald men being subject of sexual harassment when anybody notices they're bald. Now, the article goes on. It basically said the judge decided that because men lose their hair more often than women, it's more prevalent in men, that it's a form of sexual harassment for anybody to even comment on your baldness if you're a man. And the judge said it's the equivalent of making comments about a woman's breasts. Just curious how you feel about that, because as a bald man, I've never felt sexually harassed by people saying I was bald. Anyway, still waiting on Chris Renault. It's like I see. I almost want to message him back with some smart ass thing like, "Wow, still." I'm not. Let him do what he needs to do. I'll bust his balls when he gets to the program, if and when. I mean, maybe he's having a Carl type morning in in the bathroom. I don't know. It's just an unusual thing for somebody to even explain that. I would just, if I were him, I'd say, "Sorry, I'm late. I'm having some technical difficulties," and leave it at that. I would not follow through with the I'm in the bathroom thing. What is I'm looking at Brother Dave performing, but it looks like a weird event he's performing at. Um, I can't see what he's doing here. Brother Dave's a really good guitar player, man. I'm really impressed with him. Anyway, Chris Padilla is with us now. He's in the back end, and he's a comedian from New Jersey, I think Bloomfield, New Jersey. And I don't know this for a fact. It's hard to pin down people that I have not actually met before. But I think he also is a musician of some sort. So let's get to the bottom. And we'll ask the best way to just go directly to the horse's mouth and ask him. He's with us now. Let's welcome in Chris Bruno. Chris, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm
What's
doing
up?
well. You were in the bathroom.
Yeah, it was like it feels like when I'm at work and I'm 10 minutes late, 'cause I'm
It,
taking
it,
like the most
it's
disgusting
morning.
thing. Yeah.
You're not a morning person, I gather.
Oh no, dude. I know, but I definitely wanted to do this. I wanted to come on,
Yeah, I
have some
appreciate
fun.
that. That's a difficulty with doing a morning show and wanting comedians to come on. No comedians are really
Oh
morning
yeah.
people,
Yeah,
but at
that's why we
least
don't
you're
do any
East.
of that.
Yeah, at least
No.
you're East Coast though, because I've had people on from a lot of people on from California, West Coast. So this would be 7 a.m. for them and getting up. So with you,
Yeah, dude.
comedy. How long you been doing comedy?
Like a year and some change now. A little bit over a year now.
All right.
Getting into it. Yeah.
What got you started in it? Did you always want to do it?
I was always like the funny friend a lot of the time. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I don't know, just like the pandemic happened and couldn't play music really
Yeah.
anymore. But comedians don't really care about much about the pandemic that much. So like I was able to get into that, and now like it was cool because I didn't have a job either at that time, so I was able to just completely
Yeah.
do comedy every single day. So I like kind of like was able to get better faster than most new people. So yeah, that's like yeah.
I appreciate that attitude because this is my approach to podcasting. When I started podcasting, I decided if I'm going to get into this, I'm not going to take the slow road. People do one show a day, one show a
Mhm.
week, one show a month. I'm like, fuck that. I'm doing 2 shows a day, 3 shows a day. I want to get good, and
Oh
popular,
yeah.
and well known as fast as I
Yes.
possibly can.
Exactly.
Well, you have the benefit of being young and having
Mhm.
your whole life ahead of you. I'm an old man, so time is of the essence for me.
Yeah.
But your first time on stage, was it a dare? Was it because
No, I was just bored one day and I was like, I need to do something. Like I haven't gone outside or like really like talk to anybody like ever. And I gotta get out there again. So I just like went on Facebook and found you know, like some like comedy open mic group, and then found like my first mic I went to, and then I just decided to do it. And yeah, it's been history from there, you can
and
say.
was it local in Bloomfield, New Jersey, or did you go to the city? What?
Oh no, it's like they're all in New Jersey. They're in like Elmwood Park and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Hmm.
Have you been to New York City at all? And into
Yeah,
the delved
yeah.
into?
I've been on MacDougal Street. I've been to like the Greenwich Village and comedy shop and stuff. I did Broadway Comedy Club. I did that one bringer that they do, and got a
Is
couple
that
development spots.
Victoria's show? Victoria
Uh,
Onstead or something like that. She doesn't bring a show there.
no, the Industry Room. I
Okay.
tried that one out,
Yeah.
but that was fun. Yeah, it was good.
Now, you dealing a lot with these bringer shows where
No, no, definitely not. I've done like probably like one. Like
Yeah,
that was it. Really, one or two. I think I've done. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not that big of a fan.
it becomes a drain on your friendships. People say, "Oh, come on, man, I love you, but I'm not. How often can
Yeah,
I come out and see your act?" I mean,
I know. I definitely like blew my load super
yeah,
hard, like by just like having everybody that came out. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If you do bringers, it's fine. Just like don't like act like you're getting like booked all the
yeah,
time. If you're just doing
yeah.
bringers, you know what I
How
mean?
old are you, if you don't mind me asking you?
I just turned 23.
Oh, what a fucking great time!
Right?
That's the prime of your life, man.
Yeah.
If I could trade places with you, I would in a heartbeat. I mean, those
Oh,
are the best
dude.
years.
I would trade
So,
places with you, you know?
yeah. Now, when you describe your comedy, and I hate even asking this question. I know it's a bummer of a question because it's when people ask me about what kind of music you play, I go, oh, fuck
Mhm.
you, man. You just listen and tell me. But
Yeah.
are you a joke teller? You a storyteller? What do you do?
I don't know. I'm like a mixture of both, I'd say. Like I used to like really copy Mitch Hedberg, and now I'm trying to
Oh,
copy like Louis C.K. and like Shane Gillis a lot. Like I don't know. It takes
wow.
like it. I don't know. It takes a second to I wasn't really comfortable like having ideas that were longer than a sentence for a while, and now though I'm like really like I've gotten more into like myself, and I want to show people like the things like the thoughts that go in my head, and some of them are kind of gross and some of them are funny, but we just gotta
You
like
gotta be you, man.
yeah, you gotta
You
try it
know,
out
I
because I
don't.
feel like
Yeah, I don't like
yeah.
to give advice to anything, but that one piece of advice that you have to be authentic and true to
Hmm.
yourself no matter what. Don't try to. Now, everybody, when they're starting out, like you mentioned, influences like Hedberg
Hmm.
and Louis C.K., that's important to have those kind of models to kind of give you some frame of reference. But when you start actually doing it, it's really important to be
Hmm.
true to who you are.
Yeah,
So before the comedy stuff, you were doing music, yes?
yeah, I was doing a band like
Yeah.
a
And
metal like a really yeah.
you are a metal guy, a
Oh, hello.
metal band.
Yeah, Woodland Tomb. If anybody's out there that wants to look that up, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like
And did you start that as a young teenager, like 13, 14 or something, or it was later in life?
I was in like yeah, I've been doing bands since I was like 12
Yeah.
and that was just like I used to do like garage punk stuff and then I just started like just switching around to all the different instruments. But I was
Have
never like a talented musician though. Like I was like
what?
I was like the funny person at like the practice that would make like practice okay again. But yeah, I never really
I can relate to that, but I
hell
would
yeah.
tell you this that talent isn't really all that important in music.
Oh yeah, no. You need a you need that pizzazz.
Attitude, hard work, a lot, and persistence, a lot of some luck, all of that. But
Mhm.
and not that talent is a bad thing. If you have talent, it's always a positive. But I don't think it's necessarily an important
Oh yeah, no.
ingredient to being successful.
People think it's too and it's like so important. You
Yeah.
just kind of have to have a good attitude about things, really, and then like the rest of it comes with you.
So
Sorry if there's like a mad noise outside.
have you
Got
completely
people.
moved away from the music idea, or are you still in it somewhat?
Oh, I'm just like, goddamn, sorry. These people are outside doing the leaf blowers right now. I don't know if you
That's
guys can
cool.
hear that.
Invite
Uh,
them in.
yeah, no, music is like, yeah, right. No, music is fine, is like fine, but it's like not really my go-to like style. It's not my like best way to express myself. I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so goals, do you have goals of, obviously, it's a day by day life, but
Mhm.
are you planning on doing this? Is this your plan for life, or do you have a backup plan? Or
I definitely don't have a backup plan anymore. It used to be, like I don't know. I guess like just be like a manager at like Panera or something is like the backup plan.
you
But
know,
until then, I'm just gonna keep grinding, doing comedy.
I was talking about it just before you came on about because yesterday The comedian didn't show up because he was cramming for his finals. And I've seen his work, and he's a pretty funny guy. And he's a young guy like you, but he's in college, and he was cramming for his finals and up all night and slept through and forgot to be here for the show. But my point on that is, if I would be if I could trade places with you age-wise right now and be a 23-year-old guy, I would know that a backup plan is what is something you gravitate towards. And if you have a backup plan, you're probably going to end up in your backup plan. So for an old man like me to look back, backup plan is not a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's why I don't really have one. It's like this or nothing,
Yeah.
Like you gotta put your all into it, and that's what I'm trying to do,
I agree with you. Now, don't hold me accountable if it doesn't work out, but I definitely agree with you. So touring or getting on, because they say even Jesus wasn't a hit in his hometown. You got to get out and hit the road eventually. You got any plans for that?
I don't know. I'm trying to get some stuff out there. I don't know. Really, I'm like kind of just dedicated to New Jersey right now, and so I plan on going to New York. Like, I don't want to force myself into New York. I'm going to wait for New York to want me.
No, I agree with that, because I think New York sucks, to be honest with you. If you're not an established comedian, if you're not a national name, they're going to be pretty cold to you. New York is just like brutal. But there are other
sucks trying
places.
to make it out there.
Yeah, I think if you went the other direction, Philly or in Poconos, Pennsylvania, there's lots of opportunities for you to kind of establish yourself away from the bright lights of Manhattan.
Philly is popping right now. We got a lot of good people coming out of there right now.
Yeah. So to get stage time and mic time, are you at comedy clubs, or are you doing other kind of venues? Because it's very popular for people here now to produce their own shows in any place. Seeing guys do it in pizza places and bars and all this kind of stuff. Are you doing that?
Yeah, it's like tomorrow I'm doing a show in like a coffee shop at in Rahway, New Jersey. So I don't know. It's like there's no real comedy clubs that besides you got Scotty's and the Stress Factory. It would it's hard to get up at the clubs and stuff, especially because the Wednesday Scotty's mic is kind of hellish sort of. You get there and there's 30 people on the list. I don't know. So it's I don't know. In New Jersey, it's I feel like comedy thrives in places that aren't the club scene.
Yeah, no. Well, because the economics of doing a comedy club is just really difficult, because most of them are only open Wednesday to Saturday or something like that, and it's hard to run a business on that.
Yeah, and they're also a part of another building all the time. They're always a part of a steakhouse too. It's never just a comedy club, just by itself anymore. It's always comedy club and Sally's lobster boil.
Yes. Or my friend Andy did one in a bar that was attached to a titty bar. It was a double business, but the titty bar was on the left side. They just had a wall dividing it. So you got strippers on a stage to the left.
And obviously, I'm not seeing comedy if there's strippers around, And then it's what do you call? I'm trying to think of this one thing too. I don't know. Yeah, comedy clubs are just weird now.
Yeah.
And then
So you mentioned Louis C.K. I want to kind of get your take on this, because this show is on Gov's comedy podcast and Gov's radio, and I look at their website all the time to see who's going to be playing there to help promote what's going on in the club. Just a couple of days ago, I was on, and I knew who was playing there, and then this morning I went on, and Louis C.K. is playing the brokerage in Belmore, which is part of Gov's, but a very, very small room, and just announced yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's only 30 or 40 seats in the place, so it's sold out in a heartbeat. But a guy like that playing a room like that, does it surprise you or not?
No, it seems like the move. That's how I feel like that's how you get some of probably the best bits, and that's probably how when you get your best sets too, or that's probably the best time to see them. When it's that really intimate setting and stuff. Because I don't know. It doesn't matter how big you get. I feel like all those bigger dudes, they even they want to go back to when comedy was that,
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that, and small is one thing, but this place is like extremely small. It's like the
Mhm.
size of the room that I'm in right now.
Oh yeah,
It's
no, this is what reminded me of that now. Yeah, so like I did a show once at Phoenix Bar, and it was like a gay bar and stuff, and they had like the side room dedicated to comedy, and it was like probably like the size of like a hallway and stuff, and they kept like the jukebox on like the entire time, so it was just like you're trying to do comedy, meanwhile like fucking like Celine Dion and like J Lo were just like playing blaring and stuff, and like you're getting heckled by like these great songs and great music, and nobody wants to like listen to you because like they just want to go out and dance and stuff. But yeah, you
wow.
know, yeah.
That's
That was New York though. That's New York. That's like yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's just weird, but so yeah, that it surprises me a little bit. Just that the fact that the room is so small. I could see Louis
Yeah.
going back to like Caroline's in the city, which is a
Mhm.
small. There's lots of small rooms, but
Mhm.
out in suburbs and a late minute edition like that. Now
Mhm.
they do frisk you for phones and recording devices
Mhm.
when you go in there. But in an intimate room like that, given the state of comedy right now, would you be concerned that, because we saw what happened to Chappelle in the Hollywood Bowl, that still
Like if I were to
people,
do like a small room,
yeah,
I don't know. No, I feel like that's like that'd be fun. You
yeah,
know, and like there's nothing to really worry about if the phones are all gone and stuff. I don't
yeah,
know. I kind of used to before I got into comedy. I used to think that was kind of like lame that they would like do that, but now I completely understand it because like you don't want one of your bits taken out of context and something that's like half written that you don't even know. That's kind of like it's kind of just a bad thought that you haven't made funny yet, and like
right,
someone's recording that, and that's horrible. And so like you'd rather like wait for it to. So that's why I think those rooms are good for that. You probably
yeah,
like I don't know. I wouldn't know that because like I'm not like at that level yet, but like maybe
of
yeah.
course. No, I think no matter what level you're on, those rooms are good for developing your act
Hmm.
and kind of working on
Oh yeah,
material, without a doubt.
definitely.
Now, with as far as
Mhm.
content and material,
Yeah.
do you say do you come across a lot of sexual stuff, a lot of political, not political, but current events and current climate of the culture we're in, and talk about, I don't know, anything like,
I always try to steer clear of like current events and stuff because like those jokes they're always like they're gone within like a couple like weeks and stuff. You can't use anymore. And also like I don't know, it's hard to see like you see like comics try to do cultural like event stuff and it never like I don't know, it's just not my thing really. I'd rather
so.
just
So
and like
what
I don't
kind
know,
of
I
things?
guess
What kind of things do you subject matter?
yeah, like weed and like sex stuff and like yeah, just being gross and my mom talking about like, talk about my dead mom a lot, you know.
Oh,
Yeah. But
yeah.
then I don't mean to bring a downer on the pod, bro.
No, no. You know what? We've all. I don't think you can. I mean, the dead mom. Well, I would just had a picture of a woman who had her legs blown off at her
Oh, dude,
wedding.
that's
So
sick. No,
she stepped on
yeah,
a
and no, I'm into
mine.
stuff like I'm into morbid stuff. I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
guess that's like kind of like my spraying to people to be down with like all this morbid and gross stuff that I'm just like, no, but like if you just think about it, it's kind of funny though that
yeah.
like she doesn't have her legs anymore. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
mm,
and I was talking about because somebody was making jokes about amputees, but having your legs blown off by a mine is much worse than being an amputee.
oh
Again,
yeah,
you go and be an amputee, you go into the hospital, they drug the fuck out of you. You're like in another world, and when you wake up, you're on so much pain pills that by the time they wear off, you don't even realize that you don't have
yeah,
any legs anymore.
you get blown up by a mine. You wake up, you're like, what the hell is this? What just
Oh,
happened here?
it's
Yeah,
the shock value would kill me, just the
yeah,
shock of it, or and the noise would fucking knock me out.
yeah,
Uh,
right. Oh, the noise of it. Oh no, yeah.
yeah.
Getting your
So
legs blown off and being like, my ears.
yeah, you mentioned weed, a big part of your life.
Yeah,
Weed,
I'd say so. Yeah,
yeah,
if you can't tell. Yeah,
yeah. It's been a big part of my life for
Hmm.
50 years. 50 years, big part of my life. Even though there were breaks of, I had one break of almost 10 years in there, and then
Wow.
another break of 2 or 3 years, and didn't touch it at all. And when I interviewed my first weed business guy a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
I said to him, "Yeah, I quit for 10 years, but then at the end of that 10 years, I asked myself, why? What the
Mhm.
fuck? What was the reason I quit? And I couldn't remember why I quit.
Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
but day night, you wake and bake guy. You like
No,
wake up.
I didn't have time to wake and bake. Today I had to. I woke up and then I took that 3-parter dump and then I logged on to here.
Yeah, but
Like,
like a normal day, how long after you wake up would you take your first
oh,
hit?
it depends. Like if I have work or not. Usually, like if I have work, I gotta wait till like my break usually to like have that first blunt of the day.
Yeah.
But no, usually like on weekends and stuff, like I always wait for my girlfriend to wake up at like 2 or 3 o'clock, and then we smoke our blunt. I usually wake up at like around like 11 or like 12 or so. Like so, it
And
takes me like an hour or two to like
you
smoke that first blunt.
a smoke a pipe guy or joints?
No, I roll like blunts like all the time. Like
I
just
used
like
to be a joint guy my whole life,
mhm.
but when they legal now, is it legal in Jersey?
Yeah, it's legal now. They
Yeah,
just made it legal.
yeah. It's only been legal in New York for I think a year and a half or so.
Mhm.
But now I go to the dispensary, and even if you get bud, it's not like rolling. It's really dried out bud, and it's not
Mhm.
conducive to rolling. So I've been a pipe guy for the last couple of years.
Mhm.
It's a whole different experience being a pipe guy, and I never was, and I don't like it. I definitely would prefer to roll joints. But
Yeah. I feel like you loop around, like, you start off as a kid, and then you, like, are only smoking bowls and pipes and, like, stuff like that, and then as you get older, like, you go through, like, joints and
yeah.
blunts, and then you circle back around to just, like,
Oh
wanting to smoke a pipe, like,
I never got the blunts with the tobacco stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like,
Mhm.
first of all, I was never a tobacco smoker, but even if you are, I think it's like you're ruining both experiences. You're ruining the weed experience and the cigarette experience by
Oh,
trying to
no.
combine them.
I don't know, I think that's the best way to smoke weed in my opinion. I don't know.
Really?
Like, yeah,
Why?
I don't know, it
What do
just
you? What's different?
it's just heavy. I don't know. It makes it feel heavier, and like that's what I don't know. It's like hard to describe it. Like it's just what's not the love about a good blunt. You know, the ritual of it too.
Wow.
Like it's just all fun. I don't know. I also like love the Wu-Tang Clan too. So like I love like just like about
All right.
Method Man and like smoking
Wh-
blunts and stuff. Like all the '90s hip hop. Like just like I love smoking blunts. Just like kicking back, pretending I'm one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
What about edibles? You're an edible guy or not?
edibles never really work on me. Like no matter how like good they are, like I'll just like keep eating them and then it never works.
I said that. I said, and I had that experience for 2 years. People were giving me edibles, and I said they never work. And then I had Big T, Tom Farrell, who was
Mhm.
host of THC TV. I had him on, and I said that to him, and he said, "Oh, you're getting a care package," and I was like, "Okay." And he
Let's
sent
get
me
it.
some edibles, and they worked. And 10 milligram gummies, and they were working. And I was like, "Wow, this is nice." But he also sent me this Power
Mhm.
Crunch bar or something like Power or
Oh,
something.
the punch
Punch
bars?
bar, yeah.
Punch bars, yeah, those are the ones that worked on me too.
Yeah, it said
Those kill you.
225 milligrams.
Yeah,
I ate
dude.
the whole thing, and then I was like, I was retarded for a
Yeah.
week.
Those shits will wreck you, dude. Then they got rid of like they had to like you can only find like 225 milligram ones in like places where like it's kind of sketchy because now like all these laws and stuff, like
Yeah,
they're trying to take like the medicine away from us. So they keep like they have like 100 milligram ones now. But
right.
yeah, I remember the original formula punch bars. Give me 1 second. Let me just blow my nose because I'm like got post nasal drip so badly right now, and I want these listeners just hear like
Not,
the whole time. You know, be right back.
not
One
a problem.
second.
I'm going to bring in Kiera, who's with the Happy Minute right now, anyway. So let me find her music and. Boom, it's back. Oh, well, you weren't paying attention till you heard the music, were you? See? When Chris gets back, I will introduce you. He went to blow his nose. Chris,
I
meet
get it.
Kiera. Kiera, meet Chris.
Oh, hello, new friend.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing
So-
well.
So, what did you send me when during the break here? You sent me
Rust
a
and
text-
Bone.
Oh, that's the
That's
name of
the
the movie.
Yes.
Rust and Bone.
Let me
Rust
read
and
you the
Bone.
description. Hold on.
Please do.
Okay, wait, because now I have to sneeze. I don't know. He like
Rust
I
and
watched him blow
bone.
his nose, and now
More
Let's
I
all
have
go
to
blow our
sneeze.
nose.
More like musky bone. I haven't showered. I don't
That's
know.
All right. I haven't showered either yet.
I haven't
decided
showered
to-
since 1973.
Musty bone
Okay.
is what that's what I don't know. I'm just trying to make a stupid joke. Sorry guys, I'm tired still. Like,
It's all right. It's early. All right. This is one of my favorite actors. I really don't know how to say his name. Matthias Skonartz. I'm sorry.
And he's
It's
one
German.
of your favorite? I've never heard of him.
It's a German last name, and I'm so bad. We all know with pronunciation.
Yes.
But anyway, this is Rust and Bone. It came out in 2012. Everyone should watch it. I'll just give the description quick. Ali, a former boxer and single father, meets Stephanie when he saves her from a brawl at the nightclub where he works as a bouncer. Their casual acquaintance develops into something much more after Stephanie, who trains killer whales at a marine park, it's killer whales, not a shark, suffers a horrible accident and loses both her legs above the knee. As Stephanie draws on Ollie's physical strength, an unexpected courtship slowly comes to life. But he's really hard on her. It's not just, he whips her into shape and tells her to get over herself. And so it's a cool movie. It's not just one of those.
yeah.
Cool on what level?
know
Like you appreciated the abuse? You like him being
It wasn't no, she was abusing herself. She was getting down on herself, and he wouldn't tolerate that. He wasn't gonna pity her.
The title Rust and Bone refers to the taste of blood when upon a blow to the face, lips are crushed against the teeth. Isn't that something, guys? IMDb.
Wow.
Wow.
Very.
I just thought Rusty
cool.
like prosthetics were rusty or something. And I
Yeah.
don't know. But yeah, I guess she was was she a fighter? I can't remember the movie. I have to watch it again. But wow, pretty cool.
Be happy.
It's
I
a
like
good
that.
mug.
Be happy.
Be
mug.
happy.
That's a big mug you got there.
It's bigger than my head. Look at this.
He's drinking water. I'm drinking Koa Coffee. And the
tell
Andy
us about
Andrews
Koa
Suicide
Coffee.
Fund, Cancer Fund, Suicide Fund. I said. Anyway.
Wow.
This isn't the suicide fund. Then just laughing about it.
So Chris is a 23-year-old comedian, former, I'm going to call him former musician right now, a band guy who decided to get into comedy about a year ago in New Jersey and put a lot of focus in it and working hard at it. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
Keep working.
Thank you.
And he doesn't have a backup plan, which my take on that is that's the right way to go. What's your opinion? You agree?
Yeah, I had a backup plan and I never
you fell on your backup plan.
Yeah, just do it. I know so many people. One drummer I know, he just played drums every day, all day. I think he was in LA. I don't know, for like 10 years. He never stopped. And finally he got in. So he just, it took him 10 years, but he, I don't want to.
So are you prepared, Chris, for the long haul of really being economically poor, broke?
No, I've been economically poor, broke, and like starving like for 23 years of my life. Like,
but
it's like
23
years, nothing new.
But when you turn 30, it's a whole. You look back, and I know it's only 7 years down the road, but you look back, and all your friends have houses now. They're all, well, people you knew have houses and nice cars and families and stuff.
Well,
and here you are still looking for gas money to get to your gig.
Don't discourage him.
No, that's not,
I'm not.
No, that's but like I love things like that. I love kind of being like the outlier and stuff like that. Like I don't know.
At least you love it.
Yeah,
I always hated it.
I know. I love that lifestyle of just being kind of bummy and gross. And like, that's just my life. I don't know. And also it's like easy to not want to do music when like everybody who does music is really like an egomaniac, It's fun.
That's true. That's true.
You think I'm an egomaniac?
Oh, no. You're cool because you don't play metal music. And metal musicians are like a special type of breed of like horrible person. Like, it's just like,
you should listen to my brother. His band made it to Pandora. What the hell are they called? Oh my gosh! See, always on the spot. I can't think of it right now.
He's because you have
heavy metal.
You're a profoundly forgetful person, as we talked about on my evening show last night. You got signs of forgetfulness, which I think music.
I call it mom brain. Okay.
Yeah.
and everyone knocks
But
me
you're
because
way
I
too
need my.
young to be having that. I mean, at my age, see, when we talk about Alzheimer's and people like at my age just not being able to remember things and struggling for words and stuff, I attribute that to having so much information in there that the file cabinet is full. So if I have a moment where I can't remember something, it's because my brain is just too full of stuff. I gotta.
Are you calling me? You're calling me intelligent because I
That's
was
what
just so.
I'm trying to.
Wait, but let me. I forgot what I was gonna say. No, it really.
See?
wait, no. Oh, I know. I can remember things like they were yesterday, from my childhood, and I think it associates with trauma, where I have this really like in-depth memory of most of my childhood. But
well, this isn't therapy, girl. Go to
Yeah.
therapist. This
but
is not the
short-term-
place.
Short term, I don't know what his band is called. Oh my
No, it's
gosh,
like
driving me
it's
crazy. But I don't-
weird because like with
I don't
trauma
really
and
know
like
him.
with
So how
trauma
could
and not
I-
remember. It's
Yeah.
like with trauma and remembering your childhood. It's like, I feel like that usually makes you not remember your childhood at all. Like there's so many bits of my childhood where I'm like, oh yeah, maybe something happened there. Or like also, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I had like
I'm curious about this because you talk about some stuff that was obviously you went through some stuff there. You talk about your dead mom.
Yeah.
When you're talking about life events for you, how much of it do you keep? Because this is a question that I'm struggling with right now. It's how much do you keep true and actually accurate to the fact, or how much license do you give yourself to add on, things that not necessarily were part of the story, but they make it funny to add that in. Do you do any of that
I
embellishment?
don't know. It's like hard because like my life is kind of like it feels like it's written by God himself to like have these weird like darkly comedic moments in it where it's like, yeah, of course. So, like I don't know. There's not like too much comedic license. I feel like the only time like there's like I'll have like a thought of something where it'd be like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened, and then I'll just tell it like as if it did happen. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
about like as much comedic license that I take. A lot of the time,
Yeah.
I'll be like buying weed for my weed dealer. I'll look across like the house next door. There's like an open window, and I'm like, what if I just saw some dude like fucking his girlfriend like up against the window there, and and then like it's funny like those, and when you try to tell that bit by just like being like, wouldn't it be cool if that happened? Like people like look at you like you're weird and stuff. So like you kind of just have to be like, I was there and I experienced seeing that, and then like you're not the weirdo in that anymore.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that. My problem is trying to tell stories that from my life, I'm not sure where my memory fails me and if I'm getting it right. Because yesterday I brought up a story and Kiara pointed out that it couldn't be right about a young girl who told me that she was born at Woodstock. Now I went back and did the research. I've been telling that story probably for 20 years
Which Woodstock
now.
was it?
Yeah,
the original Woodstock or like Woodstock '99?
The original Woodstock,
like, oh no, that baby
but
was like
she
a
was only
product of horribleness.
Yeah, I was telling as if it was the original Woodstock, but she clearly too young. The math didn't work out.
Yeah.
So
maybe she was in her 30s or 40s
Yeah.
and told you she was 20. That's what I was thinking after we.
No.
Or maybe it was like one of the newer Woodstocks, like the ones with like Limp Bizkit and Green Day on it and stuff. Like
I think it was I think she was telling me it was her mother who was born at Woodstock. I'm pretty sure that's what the real story is, but I can't even be sure right now. That's how foggy my memory is. So I'm telling this story as if I know it's true, but I don't know it's true.
Or maybe you just have man ears, because when I talk to Matt, he just looks at me and nods like he's listening, and then he'll ask me questions about what I just told him.
Yeah.
So maybe you just had, man ears.
That's
let me. I can't see. Hold on. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, she looks like Nicole Kidman. She does a little bit.
She seems pretty chill,
Yeah.
It's really
That's pretty cool.
That picture was taken in 2008, and she said she was 19 or 20 at the time.
So she could be catfishing us now, is what you're saying now? Like,
Yeah.
Is it catfishing with age? Is it a different term, or is it always catfishing?
I don't know. Maybe
Age fishing.
I'm just throwing out terms out there right now. I'm getting comfortable now. I'm talking more now.
That's right. We like that.
Maybe I should put on my glasses next time. How about this?
Mikey says it may be
Do I
my
look
hearing
like you?
because Mikey
so
says it
much.
may be my hearing because I do hear stuff wrong all the time because I'm partially deaf. I'm
Mhm.
playing in loud bands for many, many years. It made me to the point where I don't hear things right. Where I've
I
had
learned
women,
that.
I've had a
Mhm.
woman say, "Does this dress make me look fat?" And I just went
Oh
because
yeah,
I didn't know what she was saying. And
yeah, no,
somebody,
there's sometimes when you just have to lie and like you just forget that like maybe like honesty isn't the best policy, you know? Like
well, no,
Yes.
I wasn't being honest. I didn't hear what she
Yeah.
said.
Oh
My
yeah,
friend
no.
had to say, "You know what she just asked you?" I was like, "No." She said she asked you if the dress made her look fat.
Oh man, that's horrible. When there's times when like you say yeah, and then like there's just
Yeah,
a
I shook my
silence
head.
after
Yeah,
you just there's just like a silence after you say yeah, and then you're like, what happened? Like oh
right.
no, like you look up whatever you're doing.
Man ears.
It's
Yeah.
Man hearing.
it's time to cut off the folks at Gov's radio. Goodbye, Govs,
Goodbye,
for this
governors.
week. And I hope you enjoy Louis C.K. over at the brokerage Sunday night. And Tammy.